numbers.
I think what I'll do then is let's call the meeting to order and just get started. And if everyone could just kind of mute themselves and then unmute if you have something to say, we can just do it that way because we're getting weird feedback. And so I will put up the minutes because that's kind of the first thing, and we will make sure they look right. And if you have anything that you need to change, let me share that with you now so you can see them.
I do have a few things. Do you want me to start?
Go ahead. Yep.
Okay, I think Iwanicki is spelt wrong. Does anybody know? I think it ends in an I, but that might need to be checked on her last name. And then I would say to change the rest of the sentence, Candy Iwanicki, the Friends treasurer, continues to pay the bills. So she's not really volunteering at the library. She's mainly, I think, paying bills for the Friends at home.
Oh, paying bills for the Friends, not for the library.
Right.
You mean Candy?
Yes. Candy Iwanicki is the treasurer for the Friends.
Yeah, I know that.
And she's been paying the bills, continuing to do her duties, basically.
Yeah.
So like she paid for the book pages for the year and Wi-Fi, things like that. Okay, then Linda, are you ready for the next one?
She's ready. She's muted.
Okay, so under HVAC, I would put, we had a conversation about airflow and COVID-19 with RK Solutions. So I just add those words. So it's RK, capital R, capital K, Solutions, capital S. And then under reopening, the second line where it says, second line from the bottom, our summer reading program will be virtual with a paper version. So mainly it was virtual.
Which line are you talking about, Barbara?
Reopening phase 3. Reopening phase 3, where it's in bold, our summer reading program will be a paper version. Virtual, actually something was left out, so will be a virtual version with a paper version. The paper version was optional, and actually it was used a lot by the adults, so. Does that make it clear, Linda? Okay.
Linda's muted again.
So it's going to be, our summer reading program will be a virtual version with the paper version optional.
Yes. That's what we did. We offered paper.
Okay. I waited so long to do them that I'm like, whoa, what? Yeah, I guess they said this, and oh. Anything else?
Well, I had some commas, but I'm not going to even worry about them.
Okay.
All right, any others? Can we have a motion to accept the minutes? I see a motion from Beth. Anyone?
I second the motion.
Awesome. So we have to do a roll call then to approve these. So I'm going to say your name and you can say aye or just raise your hand. So Maxine?
Aye.
Linda?
Aye.
Jim?
Aye.
Jen? Jean?
Aye.
And Beth? Oh, and Jessica? Aye. All right, so that is all set. And then we are moving on to the director's report, which I'll pull up so we can look at it together. There we go. And I'll just scroll through as you read, Barb, if you want to take it away from here.
Sure. So on the heiress, because of COVID, the heiress is usually due in August, but because of COVID, they have extended it to October. And the finance report is also due in October. I've been to the Zoom meetings from the Massport Library Commissioners for both of those. And I actually, there's also one for waivers, which I went to today. The heiress is the one that does statistics like for circulation and holdings. Holdings is what we own, including ebooks and things like that are supplied by the CW Mars system. And circulation is what goes out. And then there's other things in there, but that's a lot of it. The financial report is like, how much do we spend on books? How much we spend on magazines? How much we spend on utilities? What income do we get from the friends, from the town? So those two reports are what the Massport Library Commissioners bases the accreditation on, as well as the number of hours we're open, and how much we spend on materials, which is in that report, and how much the town gives us, which is in those reports. So is there any question about heiress and financial report? They're done yearly.
So it's not just the amount of money you spend, it's the way the statistics build to that.
Yeah, the heiress is the statistics mostly. It also, I think the heiress is also the one where we write down how much each staff member gets paid. But really, it's mostly the statistics. How many books do we own? How many books circulate? How many residents have Southampton library cards? How many people from other towns take out our items? So actually, we get money from the state on how many people from out of town take out our materials. And so that's an important figure. So it used to be a lot harder to find these statistics, but it's gotten easier. And now most of them are, a lot of them are posted on the CW Mars, a certain part of the website that they have for staff. But a lot of the statistics I still have to figure out about our programming, how many people came to events, and that kind of stuff, and how much the friends give us. That's all that I have to find. Those, of course, aren't on any CW Mars site. And Lisa helps me with the statistics from CW Mars. She's the technical services employee, and she is also the coordinator with CW Mars. So
Barbara, with 35 years with the government, I still hate acronyms. What does ERA stand for?
I don't remember. I think you asked me that last time.
Oh, at least I'm consistent.
Do you want me to find out?
No. I was just curious. I don't remember anything anymore, but at least I'm consistent.
Yeah, annual report, I don't know. I can find out, but whenever I see it, it's always ERAS. So, sorry about that.
Don't do it just for me.
I can tell you what MBLC is, and MAR, and so MLS.
I can tell you it's
I think you already told me that a few times.
It's the annual report information survey.
Wow, thank you, Jessica. What is it? Annual, I was right on that, right? Annual report?
Yep, annual report information survey. It's actually a pretty boring acronym.
That's probably why I don't remember it.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. It's good to have clarification. All right, so the budget, as a couple of you were at the town meeting. It was actually very pleasant out there. And there was a picture in the paper of Robert Floyd, and luckily you can't really tell it's me, but I'm in the picture. So the town meeting approved, well, the budget was approved at the town meeting. There wasn't really any, there were a lot of questions asked, but most of them were about just facts, people looking for information about things. So the budget, everything was passed, including all the warrants. So we were cut proportionately. It was a 4.5% cut. We will have to apply for a waiver. And I wrote in this paragraph exactly what was cut, like 500 from utilities, 770 from the supply line, books, the book budget 639. Payroll was hit really tough, and so we have absolutely no money for substitutes now. I didn't want to cut, you know, the regular employees' hours, so I cut the substitutes. So that's one big reason we had to close on Monday, because the only way we were open, you know, Monday was, we stretched we only have 3 employees plus Emily is 9 hours a week. So the way we were able to do it was to have the subs work. And that's why the sub line was so big. But so we've had to, you know, cut Monday, and we we'll all have to cover for each other. I may have to ask volunteers to be a second person sometime, or a trustee, and people won't be able to take vacation at the same time, for instance. So,
Barbara?
yes.
Now, there is a possibility, correct, that if the state does come through with money for us, because from what I got from watching the select board was they were assuming that the state was not going to, you know, give us a lot, you know, money, that we would be deficit from the state. So let us hope that the state does come through, because it did come through on the school, I understand, because the school got some money. So, you know, maybe we can take, if they do, we can take some money to put back into the sub.
Well, I can tell you the process that happened with that school thing. The state said they would promise level funding. I don't know if that was for local aid or, so it was the select board who decided where to put the money that came from that change. And I don't think it was a lot of money. I don't know the exact amount, but I think it was 50,000 or 75,000.
Yes, you're right,
And
yes.
the select board chose to give money back to the school because they had a big cut. And then what happened was 2 departments, their administrative assistants were frozen. They were in the process of hiring somebody. So they didn't have enough money to put the whole amount in, but they gave them like part-time administrative assistants. For instance, Lucy, the town clerk, desperately needs a town assistant, you know, with all this election stuff.
Yeah.
So I know that the extra money they got back went to those 3 things, and it might have covered something else.
Okay,
But
so
it's up to the select board.
so that means there isn't any more money coming. That was the money that they were looking for?
Well, you know, I think they're expecting actually more cuts to come in, but nobody knows, and it's, you know, yeah. So there was a select board meeting where they divvied that money up. I didn't go to that one. Did you, Convi?
No, I didn't realize. I guess the impression I got from the newspaper was that the money came in and it was for the schools.
No.
I didn't realize that it was coming to the town, and then the town. Yeah, so I totally misunderstood that one.
Yeah, well, I don't think it was clear in the newspaper article. So I happened to be in town hall the day of that select board meeting, and I talked to Ed and I talked to a bunch of other people. So that's how I found out what was happening. And I said to Ed, should I go to the meeting? And he said, I don't think you have to. It sounded like they had pretty much decided where to put the money. But yeah, it was totally up to the select board, and I'm sure Ed had some input, maybe Vicky. But, you know, you never know. There could be more money coming in, or there could be more cuts. But at least this budget is set, which is kind of a relief. I think not everybody was happy with the way it turned out, but, you know, when is everybody happy about a budget? So. But I'm just happy we weren't cut disproportionately. So now I have never done a waiver, so you know, this is a new process for me. But the Mass Board of Library Commissioners is expecting a lot of waivers, a lot.
I'm sure.
Hundreds, maybe.
When do we have to apply for it?
Oh, I think it's actually coming up pretty soon, and I can check on that. I mean, it's after October, but
all right. Okay, so
yeah,
it's not immediately.
No, I have to do the ERIS and the financial report by October, and then I'll be working on the waiver. And some of the waiver is filled out by the town. You know, there's parts that the town has to fill out, and signatures from town officials.
Okay. That sounds good.
Yeah, I think, you know, the newspaper article gave an overview, but they don't really know all the details, and so it wasn't clear. But I am relieved that that process is over. So the next one is building committee. I've been getting feedback from staff that they think the building needs some attention. So I guess somebody complained about the handicap parking sign, that it's faded. Somebody else, this is not necessarily patrons, I think it's staff. And somebody said that the sign for Edwards that Joe made is crooked and things, and then somebody wondered about those little children's statues, whether they should be cleaned, but I don't think they're supposed to be cleaned. Does anybody know?
I'll look into that. I'll look up and see what you do. What is it, got a lot of mold on it? A lot of black?
There's stuff on it, but...
Are they or cement?
I don't know if they're cement. I'm assuming they are, but I don't know for sure. I mean, it's
I would think if they were bronze, they shouldn't be.
Right. But if they have like a moss on it or something, I'll look at them when I come in. I've got to pick up a book, so I'll take a look at it and see see what's going on with it. All right.
That would be great. And so one of the staff members was saying, you know, it's looking kind of shabby, the plants and everything. So I can call Peter Frary about trimming. Convi, do you want me to do that?
Yeah, you might as well. And yeah, because he usually trims in the fall, because of the spring we want the flowers. So yeah, so that's why we have them trim.
And maybe even a little mowing, although I know that the town was mowing, but I guess maybe not all the areas that are, you know, around the library. Well, the other thing...
Where are they talking about needing mowing?
Well, I'll have to find out. You know, I'll have to walk with them. But if the building committee wants to take a walk around the building, but it's not, you don't have to. But I think that I don't know why staff is paying attention to the surrounding of the building.
Yeah. Well, I was there the other day weeding and doing some watering. So. So, you know, but there is trimming needed, but normally we do have Peter do that, but in the fall, he'll come.
Yeah, I told them that.
Yeah. And unfortunately, it is a transition too, from, you know, the summer flowers now, they're gone, and you know, there's not a lot out there for the fall, you know, so.
Well, I did see somebody looking at the Anita Gardens, so I know they're watching that.
Okay.
So our custodian, Dave Wells, took down a hornet's nest. We've had a couple of those. And then the picnic table was being moved every time staff would put it where they wanted, it would be moved. But Johanna made a sign which she put on the table, and it has not been moved so far.
Okay, good.
And we have a doorbell, yay! Which actually has been pretty helpful. It's, what do you call it? It's
not Ring, is it?
What?
Is it Ring?
Yeah, you push it and it's a little ring, and it's on batteries. I mean, it's not, attached to the wall securely or anything. But, let's see. So if there's no more questions on that, the curbside pickup is very.
I have a question. I just wanted to clarify, Maxine, did you mean a ring?
Yeah, the ring bell. That's what I was asking her. Not a doorbell that rings, but ring. It's called.
Yeah.
It's an installation.
Oh.
That's why I asked if that's what it was, but it's not. It's just a regular doorbell,
Okay.
right?
Yeah, that way, if the UPS guy's there, he can push the doorbell.
That's something we could look into, not the Ring doorbell, because you have to have a subscription. But I know that I have Wise cameras, and then I'm trying to think of the other one I have. And I'm pretty sure they make a doorbell, a video doorbell, that you don't have to have any, wiring to it. It's just by battery. And that actually would be nice, because then you could actually see who is ringing the door.
Well, we have this, which is
Yeah, this will be fine, but it's something
not
to
wired.
think about in the future. It's not
Well,
it's not expensive. Yeah, Maxine?
I'm having Ring installed, and you don't have to have a prescription, a
The
subscription.
new Ring, you don't?
No, mine is going to be, I got a couple of things that are being installed, but I'm doing Ring. And there's two ways you can do it. It could either be hardwired, or it could be battery operated, or whatever.
Okay.
And there's no subscription. I mean, other than you buy Ring and someone installs it.
Okay.
So I've got a name of someone that if interested, seeing as I'm the building committee,
Yeah.
when I have mine done, or when I call them to give me a date, I could ask him about something at the library and see what he says about it. Just doesn't cost anything for me to ask.
That's a good idea, too. So
I'll ask.
you may get more than you planned on, Barbara.
yeah. Well,
But at least you have a doorbell. That's the most important thing.
yeah. And I guess
There's no cameras or anything involved in your house, nothing like that. It's pretty basic.
Oh,
Well-
there's not a camera?
Well, there is a camera, but it's on the Ring outside
Yes,
itself. You
right,
don't
yes.
have to putz around in your house.
Right, yes.
Cameras that you could have something extensive, but mine is going to be someone rings. I can look at it's connected. Well, mine will be connected to my phone, but I can see who's out there and I can answer. But I don't have, after I pay for it, unless you guys know something different that I did the research on, but it might be something that, we could look into. It doesn't cost anything to look into it.
We don't.
I don't
We
mean
have
to
one
chime
frame
in,
here.
but does your system record what's going on or not?
It can. You can, there's no subscription, but for $30 a year, if you want all the history of what went on around you, because my Ring is going to take into consideration my condo plus these 4 complexes right aside of me, just like my neighbor's does. So, if I'm out watering my flowers, my neighbor sees me. I mean, it's not, I think it's good. It's something I need to have, I thought.
Yeah.
But it can do history. So if we got someone painting our lights,
Yeah.
Well, Robert Rosinski, who's actually been volunteering all this time because he was a substitute, but, he's not working at his job right now, and it's been wonderful to have him. But he actually found some something that indicated that Ed had bought one of these doorbell ringers like I got, but we don't know what happened to it. But apparently he bought it in 2011.
Who bought,
So,
what did he buy, Barbara?
Ed
Yeah,
bought a similar thing in 2011 because Robert found the packaging, but we don't know what happened to the actual core, ringer.
oh my gosh.
Yeah, isn't that interesting? So,
Oh,
but anyway, I got something similar. I forget what it's called, but it's very nice, and the staff had a blast trying all the different rings and deciding on the least intrusive, I have to say. I think I mentioned in an email that the warrants did not include the cameras for us
yep.
for this year. And there were a lot of other things they covered. So curbside pickup's been really going well. As of Tuesday, we handed out over 900 bags. And we've received lots of positive feedback. So along with Jessica's suggestion, I think it was yours, Jessica, staff has been copying down positive feedback. So I put a few of them here. Great job picking our books out for the girls. I've called a few times and everyone's always so helpful. I really appreciate easy request process and quick service. We've gotten quite a few, nice comments. So now that we've closed on Monday, we're doing curbside Tuesday and Thursday from 2 to 6, Wednesday 1 to 4, and Saturday 10 to 1. Any questions about curbside?
No, Barbara, I had a question. I've noticed that some other libraries have had a demand for photocopying. They'll photocopy people's things through curbside service. And I was just wondering, since Puffer's closed, if you have any demand for that or if it's not an issue.
Yeah, we've discussed that. So we used to have our Zoom meetings, but once a week, but now we're all there. So we discuss things there. And I might mention that we're not doing that staggered staff anymore or teams. We're too small. A lot of the small libraries just really can't do it with the increase in all the work. So we're all there. So we're not having the Zoom staff meetings. And we did talk about it. And if somebody asks, we can accommodate it.
Okay, I was curious.
Yeah.
Thank you.
We're not really going to advertise it.
No.
If somebody asks, we can accommodate it. That was our decision. Same for faxing too. But they won't use the copier. We will.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. And other libraries are doing it. Yeah.
Right. Okay.
So CW March delivery is going very well. People really love it. And and we're back to our regular schedule of delivery and pickup 3 times a week. Good, except we've had one patron said that they can now have a cent on their books from interlibrary loan, and since they're sensitive, they can't use it. But it wasn't our item, so it could be, we got this by email, and I said that it could be that the libraries some of them are using a disinfectant on the materials. We just quarantine, but it could be in any number of things, but it didn't happen before COVID. And so she can't do ILL right now. Okay, so reopening is the big thing right now. And do you want to pull that up, Jessica? All right, so Johanna and I are working on the wording for our newsletter that's going to go out. And Emily Munska has been working on video which shows how things are different now and how limited browsing works and limited opening works. And other libraries have done these, and we found one we liked. So Emily has been using that as a model. So hopefully people will watch the video when she does it. She's done a lot of other videos too. And Johanna posts them in all the usual places. But so Jerry Swanson did approve our plan. And I've been on, as you know, regular Zoom meetings with other local directors, which has been extremely helpful. So Lily, Westhampton, and Forbes have opened on a limited basis, and people are doing it different ways. So ours is going to be starting September 9th, Wednesdays, every Wednesday. So in the morning, families, one family at a time can make an appointment with Johanna for a visit to the children's section. That'll be 20 minutes, 30 minutes. She'll have to disinfect whatever, sanitize in between visits. But otherwise, the children's room is closed. So that's one way families can have access to it. Then at 1 to 4, it's going to be open, and there is no restriction. If a person wants to bring a child, that's okay. But we're only going to let in 4 people at a time. We're going to have a staff member or volunteer at the door to make sure it's 4 people in there besides staff. And Forbes is doing it this way. They have a staff member at the door, and the staff member sends people in as there's room. So I don't know if you've actually read the studies about aerosol particles. I think it's called aerosol.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway,
Yep.
I can send it to you, but yeah, so it's slightly different slant on things. So less people in there is better. Because
Is that the maximum you can have, Barbara?
Well, Jerry Swanson and I worked out a certain number, but that has to include staff and volunteers, and also so much of the library is closed off that becomes the number.
But you don't have that many you don't have that many staff in there when every day.
We do, because the whole staff is there.
Really?
So we usually have 3 and then at least 1 volunteer. Yeah, because the staff is also doing their own work. You know, Johanna is running the summer reading program, and Lisa has to catalog all the books, and, you know, there's a lot of work. So, and I have the ARIS report and everything else. So.
Yeah. So Barbara, why are we going to restrict people from going back to the stacks?
Well, most libraries are doing this. It's called limited browsing. If they want something from the stacks, we can get it. But it's the whole touching thing and people all over the library thing. It can be expanded later, but people are starting limited and then seeing how everything goes. Also, we don't want people to be there much longer than 20 to 30 minutes. At Forbes, they're actually in and out pretty quickly. They mostly just come to pick up their ILLs. But you know, we have no furniture there, no chairs. It's not going to be like you sit down and you relax and you look at a magazine. It's more of an in and out thing. And this is a way to start anyway. So, so that's what the video would show, that there's no toys in the youth department anymore. There's no nice leather chairs, you know, over by the window. They've all been moved. The computers are covered. We're not doing the computers yet. Hopefully we'll be able to do that, but it's just a very limited way to start and just see how everything goes. But we have moved a lot of stuff into the browsing area. So the browsing area is essentially the whole area around the circ desk. So it already had the adult DVDs, children's DVDs, adult books on CD, all the CDs. And the staff picks and the new adult books were already there. So Johanna has moved in the new children's books and a lot of other stuff. So there's actually a lot to browse. But what I'm hearing from Forbes is that not much of the browsing is going out right now. But that might be because they might hurry people along more. I don't know. But
are the bathrooms going to be accessible to the public?
Well, this was a big discussion. So one will be, and we'll have to disinfect.
You or your staff will do that yourselves, or?
All of us will have to, because the custodian's only there. Well, actually, the good thing is he comes on Thursday morning.
Oh, okay.
So, but he's only there 2 days a week. You know, he's only 3.5 hours a week. So staff is going to have to do a lot of the sanitizing. Robert put arrows on the floor, blue arrows that are 6 feet apart. I've been ordering more hand sanitizer and gloves. We were, getting low on some of those things. So Emily's been making signs. So we have hand sanitizer, gloves, and masks available at the entryway. And the person at the door is going to have to ask people to use those when they go in. And we have hand sanitizer and and moisture, wipes over by the catalog. The computer catalog will be available, and there's a sign there. And then the area in front of the circ desk will have some signage. So the plexiglass is there. And we figured out a way that people can actually check out their own materials. Well, there's a way to do it where the staff member holds the scanner on one side of the plexiglass, and the person, kind of can move their article up and down. We're going to try that so there's less touching of materials. So there's a box in front of the circ desk where the person stands. There's a table they can put their stuff on. So all that has been worked out. And then, of course, like I said, staff can get anything anybody wants from the stacks for the children's room. Let's see, magazines have been moved partly to make room for Johanna's stuff, but also we don't want somebody lifting a magazine, looking at it and putting it down somewhere. Right. You know what I mean? So it's all these kind of details, but this, I've been on Zoom calls with directors all over the state, so everybody's been sharing what they're doing, and people do it slightly differently. Some people have appointments, some people don't, but otherwise a lot of it's similar. So I think I may have covered most of it in there. Anybody have any questions?
How long, Barbara, will we go on? Are we doing a month, 2 months on just opening Wednesday, or is it just up in the air?
Right, it's kind of up in the air, and then a lot will depend on when I'm on these local directors calls. We kind of all talk and work together, and so this is. Some of them have more days open, and some, Forbes has more, but they're a much bigger library. Yeah, so we work on it together, and then each library does what they think. But if things go well, we can increase things. But it all depends also on COVID in the town. Southampton's doing pretty well, but it depends on what's happening in the area. But Jerry was happier with this smaller opening. Let's say that.
Okay.
Yeah. But certainly if things go well, we can, open more and start computers. Computers take a lot of sanitizing and supervision. So we're still trying to stay 6 feet apart, even staff. We're all wearing masks. And according to this aerosol thing, that's very important. So.
Is the library Wi-Fi on like 24 hours a day if people pull up in the cars or want to use it outside?
Yeah. Yes, people have been. Yeah, one patron actually was sitting on that, I may have told you, on the picnic table doing her virtual summer class for Westfield High. Yeah. She would park herself there.
Okay.
Yes, we haven't changed. It's on. I'm still looking into Canopy. I've been kind of bogged down with other stuff, but I would like to have Canopy. I've talked to them. That's streaming videos, and a couple patrons have asked for it. So that I would like to do that. I just have to do a little more work. I have to read the contract and, that.
Did you spell that?
Kanopy. I know Easthampton has it. Forbes has it. A lot of libraries have it. And, so they can watch a certain number of movies a month. It's limited because we have to pay per movie.
Oh, okay.
But I'm hoping to do that in the next couple. Any other questions? So it's a fluid situation, and, but we're moving in a good direction, I think.
What especially now that we have CW Mars and the pickup, it's great. We can at least get books, which is important.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I miss going in and being able to, talk and whatnot, but that's all right.
Well, you can come in and talk, you just can't talk,
Yeah, no, you know what I mean.
Yeah, I know. It's not like the community center kind of thing.
Yes, right,
it was.
yeah.
But, people can, if the weather's nice, people can talk outside and as long as they're apart, or sit at the picnic table. Yeah, I mean, it's unfortunate, but these are the times
we'll get through
we're
it.
in. Yeah. So we're hoping that by starting small, it'll be successful and we can grow it.
Mm-hmm.
But the curbside's been very, going very strong. So
Yes.
we'll keep it going.
Mm-hmm.
The problem is some libraries have to cut back on their curbside when they open more. So, it's kind of a balancing act.
Mm-hmm.
But we're going to keep curbside open a lot during this time, September. And Jerry's been very helpful. And, so she's also, well, you'll see later. Okay, so summer reading programs are over. And they kept us busy. No, I'm not up to that yet. I'm up to above that. Yeah, thank you. So the adults used the paper a lot. We gave them a paper option, and the paper was in the curbside pickup bags like the raffle tickets. So actually the number of adults who participated is pretty much the same as last summer, 70 something. But the children's virtual program, had less. And there was a paper version for that, but it just, it was read squared for both programs. Johanna did a lot of the work and other staff helped her. She did a lot of work on programs, so did I, but she did, the youth ones. And she even did a lot of live ones, which not too many of the other libraries around here did, but I think because we have Conant Park, it enabled us live programming.
Mm-hmm.
So she talks about that in her report, that the visit from the Chinese acrobat was almost 50 people. And she felt that, if you read her report, she felt that was, a highlight for her because it felt more normal. People were really good. They wore masks, were socially distanced. And then she had the live ukulele teacher, Julie Stepanek. And Linda, you know her. You've taken her workshop. So not that many people, signed up, but it was small, but it was nice. And she's had the adult book club out there now in the pavilion, and Jerry has, authorized all these. So, and then she had a lot of wonderful online ones, but, it's, first of all, it's kind of hard to, get people on Zoom in the summer.
I went to the Dream workshop thing. That was excellent.
Yeah, I think there were, Faith was on that, and somebody else, a couple other people.
Yeah. Who was that? Who was there?
Barbara, I want to commend you and Johanna on your performance on television. They're really, you sent a recording of it or something. I watched it.
A link.
You really did an excellent job. And really,
well, thank you. We'll get to that. That was fun.
Speaking of that, and maybe it ties in here, that AP list for books, that seems like a great idea, because I think in high school I missed a couple. And
that was Johanna's. Yeah,
well, that'd be a great idea if that could be made available to the public, I think.
Oh, well, do you have her email, or I could email her? She has the list. She was holding it up.
I can access it?
Yeah, she could tell you where she got it.
Yeah.
Do you want me to give her your email? I can send you her email.
Oh, that'd be great. Thank you.
Yeah. So you all know that Johanna has a theater background, right?
Right, yep.
So she's this Mass Appeal contacted her, I don't know, a year or two, 3 ago, and she's been doing them for her. And this time I got roped in because it was adult summer reading, but it was fun. And I think that all the work we did all over the whole COVID time, because we did book chats that we did virtually and things like that, I kind of got used to doing it. And so it wasn't quite as bad as it might have been. But my granddaughter laughed because I missed the cue from the, I don't know what you call her, the TV lady, but it's a little bit of a delay, so, but she had a good laugh at that. So anyway, yeah, so we did a lot of work on virtual programs, a lot of work. Johanna did a lot of story hours. I mean, we put a lot of time into that, and it doesn't get the numbers that you get from real life programming. We heard from some people that they did Zoom for school and they didn't want to have to go on Zoom. So, but anyway, we put a lot of effort into programming.
Yeah.
So, any questions? Okay, so Johanna's, we talked about her programming, and she got, for instance, David Hyde Costello is a local illustrator, author who's fabulous. He did 2 videos that were about, creating your own story. I mean, these are top-notch programs. And then she had Emily on, who's her teenage volunteer who taught Chinese on Facebook. She said Emily did an excellent job. And these will stay on YouTube, and it's going to be interesting counting the participation with this. And the MBLC has had to come up with guidelines for how we count all this, like if somebody's on for a minute or if they're on. It's this whole big thing about counting virtual programs. So we're going to have to figure that out. So, as Johanna says, in September, Cindy Demond, who's wonderful and used to teach in Norris, is going to continue doing story time. That's through the collaborative. And they're going to have a story walk, and they're going to have in September 23rd in the park. And they're going to have like groups of 2 families walking through. This has been approved by Jerry. So, and also she's going to be able to have the story hours with Cindy out there in the pavilion. That's been approved, and now they're waiting for the collaborative to okay it. But, Johanna really likes to have as much live as she possibly can. So, and then the last thing in her report is on Mass Appeal. So I hope you'll all watch that. I have sent it to all my relatives. I actually sent it to Ed Gibson too, and I sent it to all of you, and I sent it to everybody I can think of. But it's living on our YouTube channel, and it's she had it on the website. That's how I got to it, and she puts it on Facebook, and so one patron asked for, she misses the staff pick section. So Emily took all the books in the staff pick section and straightened them out so you could see the covers. And she took a series of, I think, 9 photos. And so Johanna has been posting them on Facebook of the staff picks. And the patron was very happy. So, if anybody has suggestions. Excuse me?
I like that too.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we're always looking for things to post on Facebook, and any suggestions are welcome as we go through this weird time, which, as people say, we didn't cover this in graduate school.
In a more opportune time, I'll raise my objections to Facebook.
Yeah.
I boycott it.
Yeah.
Well, that's one reason we got the YouTube channel, because another trustee does also. So that's why we did YouTube. One reason. Oh yeah, there's 2 of you, 3 of you, I see. So YouTube, we'll continue to post there, and Emily's doing Instagram, and we've worked hard on the virtual. It's hard to know, but all the libraries. And hopefully we won't have to face another shutdown, but we're going to keep our virtual stuff going, So I think that covers what we're doing lately.
Definitely busy.
It's actually almost busier than normal. It's because, yeah, keeping up with it all and everything, I'm busier than ever.
I believe that for sure. You guys are doing a lot, and having to kind of make it up as you go a little bit too. Even with the resources that you have, it's a lot of improv. Thank you for all of that.
Definitely. But the local directors Zoom has been fabulous, and then the statewide CW Mars does Zoom for directors, I think twice a month, and MBLC has their stuff. So it's, in a way, there's a positive, is that I can go to these things without having to drive to Boston or whatever, or Worcester. Yeah. And I can, it's a nice way to get to know other directors. That's one positive. But, unfortunately, like the Friends can't meet. And
right. So
the writers group has been meeting out in the pavilion. And we are thinking about possibly getting a Zoom account for the library because of the book clubs and things like that, and Johanna's programming. Right now, she's been using the free Zoom, which I think is 40 minutes. So, Forbes has 3 Zoom accounts for their book groups. We're looking.
I would think that's going to become a little bit more imperative as the weather gets bad too, because these outdoor meetings are going to be.
It's getting cold. I have my fleece on tonight, so
yeah.
It's cold.
As you know, our trustee meetings are on the town website.
Yes, that's
so
right.
I suppose we probably should continue to use this account for our trustee meetings.
Yes.
Even if we go to Zoom account, yeah.
Do we, are we able to move on to new business? Do we have anything else to discuss tonight, or do you need anything from us, Barbara, for all that reopening things going on next week, or really the week after?
Yeah, if anybody would like to help at the door, with letting people in, we can use that. So at Forbes, they don't have like one staff member there for 2 hours,
Right, no, that wouldn't be a good use of time.
So we're going to need, so if anybody, you can email me if you feel comfortable being at the door and making sure people using sanitizer and masks and keeping the numbers. So we can definitely use help with that. And I probably will be calling on you for being a second person at some point. There are policies we have to work on, but I don't really have time right now to do that. So I shouldn't say we didn't have anything in graduate school. I mean, there was emergency preparedness, but it wasn't like this. It was for floods, things like that.
Please,
anyway,
we don't want any floods. The COVID is bad enough. Yeah.
So,
I mean, that's all everything we focus on. Everything today is just this COVID. So.
So we do have the policy committee, and I know some of the people on it already know this. We were working on a couple of policies, like a pandemic policy, and I'm supposed to do a policy on when a staff member gets sick, and there are, I haven't done it yet, but there are samples, other libraries have done it. So at some point, the policy committee will have to do some work. But other than that, I will definitely call on you. I do need somebody to sign warrants. Anybody wants to come by tomorrow afternoon or an afternoon?
I can come in.
What time, Barbara?
Between 1 and 4.
Okay, I can come in.
Jen says she can do it. Okay. Also, Johanna has some crafts bags that we give out to people, and we could use input on that, because for if you'd like to do a craft project, and the materials would be in the bag with the instructions to add. So right now the bags have fun materials, but we would like to add an actual project. So Johanna's pretty swamped, but if anybody, we do have some ideas that have been shared by other libraries. So of a simple project, it would be nice to do that for the craft bags. That's another thing we're looking.
I would be willing to do that.
Okay, great. So why don't you have Johanna's email, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and I can.
So
do you
she's
want me
looking for input? Is
Well,
she-
actually, somebody to create the project.
Oh, create
Put
them.
them in the bags.
Oh, well, where's?
Well, I can send you the email from the other library about samples if you want. Jen, you're shaking your head too?
Great.
All right, so I'll email Jen and Linda.
Oh, I remember we sat together and did that little project.
Yeah,
You know.
sort of like that. Okay, so I'll send you the craft projects. So it would be like the bag would have what it has in there with Jen actually has been helping, and then add a project. That's all. With an instruction sheet. Jen, you've done that in work, right? You've done.
Yeah, we do that a lot at work.
Yeah, a lot of libraries are doing that, so they're very popular. And I think when Jen did the first 10, they went out right away. Right?
Yes.
Oh, they usually do 10 at a time?
Yeah, well, Johanna put it on Facebook, and then one person wanted like for all her grandchildren. So now we limit it to one a family.
Oh, boy.
Yeah.
But like a sock puppet, you can get those scratch things that you get from Oriental Trading. She might buy those. Simple little craft projects. They could be tied into a holiday or whatever, But it's just an extra perk. So I'll do that, and I'll email Jim about AP, and I'll call Peter Frary. But yeah, I'll. Thanks for offering, and let me know if you do want to help with the door on Wednesday.
I'll help, Barbara. So
Convy? Okay.
yeah,
Great.
I'll help. Yeah.
Next Wednesday, Barb?
No, it starts on the 9th.
Okay.
So can I just confirm that is Mark here?
He isn't
No.
actually.
No. How about Don?
No.
Do we get a replacement? Is his wife did Don's replacement as a trustee? Because he's no longer a trustee, is he?
He is, because there's a problem getting, his wife has to get the signatures and everything.
Well, she didn't
Has
do that
to
yet?
work. I don't think she wants to gather signatures, but because of COVID. I don't know, she has to.
Oh,
Linda?
sorry. They lessened the amount of signatures needed.
Well, maybe somebody could get that information to Don and Pam.
Well, if they want to switch, I know September 1st is coming quickly, but we could do write-ins. If they would let us know, we can just share the name and the address has to go on the ballot. And we
An
can,
idea.
we could
That's
put
a
it in as
great
write-in.
idea.
Yeah.
But how many?
Wait,
see, Don
if he
hasn't actually
isn't-
officially resigned.
Right.
Right.
So if
Oh,
he
so
isn't
the position's not
for-
open.
Yeah.
Last time, didn't he say that he would agree to remain on, and then at some later time,
Yeah,
step back and we could appoint his wife
Yeah.
who's interested?
yeah.
I think that's what he said, yeah.
I think
Yeah,
we
okay.
should just wait until we get a confirmation from him as
Yeah.
far as,
Yeah, because they can't do it on the election. So what he's going to have to do, he's going to have to officially resign, and then we're going to have to then submit his wife's name to the board, select board, and hopefully they will appoint her.
Well, does someone want to contact him and move this forward, or do you want to wait?
I think we should wait till September. Yeah, let's get the elections out and done, because otherwise I think it's going to it'll
because
compromise.
you can do a write-in if there's a space available, and it says on the ballot, it says, choose 3, and there's only 3 names.
But his
No,
space
I
isn't open.
don't think we should do that. I think that's going
Am I muted?
to complicate things. Seriously, I just think let's get the elections done, and
No, I'm
then
not suggesting we do. I'm suggesting we don't.
yes, okay, yes, because that's going to create problems. Yeah, we can do all the other stuff in
We got enough
September,
problems.
which is what, a week away. I don't even know what day it is.
It's next
Today's the
week. I
27th,
think it's
so
Tuesday.
Tuesday.
September
so,
1st, I think, is Tuesday.
Yeah, so. So will we do our regular meeting on September, whatever date it is, 4th?
So
I thought this was the September meeting.
Yeah.
Didn't you read in the minutes somewhere?
yes, so this is the September meeting because we wanted to meet before the September
Okay.
opening,
All
just in
right.
case. So
Okay.
I think our next meeting would be October 1st.
Okay, yeah.
Right?
All right.
Right? So nobody miss it because it's right at the start of the month.
Yes.
So unless anyone has a reason why it shouldn't be, that would be the next one.
Okay, no, I don't, I mean,
Yeah.
at this
Okay.
point, Barbara sends out enough, information to us that I think we're up to date, and it's not like there's not much we can do, so. at this-
Right.
Also, yeah.
Is there any other new business then, or can we?
Jessica, do you want to talk about your role in that group for, what is it, the trustees, or are you secretary of that group?
I take the minutes. I mean, like, I don't have that much of a role. It's just a trustees association. And when, right now we're planning the annual meeting. And when I have more information, I can send that out to you all. We are board members of that organization. I paid for our board membership. So I did a board membership instead of an individual one. So you'll all be able to go to that and vote. I think it's in November. We have a speaker coming. That's great. And I'll have more information in October when we meet about that. I know I'm being vague right now, but it's because we don't have a lot of the details completely worked out. But
What's the name of the organization?
The MLTA, another acronym for you, Jim. The Massachusetts Library Trustees Association. So, but we also, the MLBC is always at our meetings too. So I get to talk with them, and that's kind of a nice window and a nice connection to have there as well. So I'm looking through my calendar I know I have it marked down, the annual meeting. It is on Saturday, November 14th. And it will be virtual, of course. And it's only, we're debating the time, but it's going to be like way less than 2 hours. It's probably going to be an hour of an actual meeting and then like an hour of sort of a virtual coffee chat, kind of like optional piece. We're thinking that some people are completely zoomed out and done, and some people are kind of craving a chance to just sort of have an unstructured chat. So we're trying to kind of meet both needs. So we'll have to have our business meeting. I guess I do have a lot to say. I just needed to get going. We're going to have our business meeting because we just changed our bylaws. I need to be officially elected, hopefully. And then we'll move into our keynote speaker, and then we'll have a Q&A portion with that keynote speaker. So her topic, we're still like kind of fleshing out the like a nice catchy title, but it's going to be like inclusion and diversity for the future of libraries. So with a focus on like sustainability, like not sustainability just like environmentally, but like that your board is sustainable into the future, that you're recruiting new members, that you're representing your community accurately so that it has a life beyond just your present day. So I thought that was probably good given the current times and trying to stay healthy and active and involved in our communities at a time where it's becoming like increasingly challenging. So that'll be the topic.
And will the Massport Library Commissioners have some representation at that one? Massport
I'm not
Library.
sure. I don't know that one. The MLBC?
Nice.
The MLBC?
Yeah, the MBLC.
Oh, yeah. I'm sorry. I like that acronym. Yeah, they'll be there. Yep.
So that would give people a chance to ask them questions too, right?
I think that this is really about the trustees and the keynote speaker. It's not really a time for them to do Q&A. I know that they are doing things like that, like they have meetings where people can come in and ask questions, and they have the listserv if folks have concerns. So I think that would probably be a better context for that. I think they're there more as the support for the MLTA. But are we good? Can we have a motion to adjourn, or is there anything? Keeping an eye on
I
the
make a
time.
motion to adjourn the meeting?
Second it.
And so I'll just say names quick. Maxine?
What?
Oh, how do you vote? Can you just say aye when I say your name?
Aye.
Jessica, aye. Jen?
Connie Stahl, aye.
Jim?
Aye.
Jean?
Aye.
And Linda?
Aye.
All right. Thank you for that.
Aye,
roll call.
aye,
Aye,
All right. We'll see you all in October. I'll
In
send
October.
the link out twice.
Okay.
Okay.
And I'll, Jessica, I'll change it on the website.
Thank you.
Okay?
Thank you. All right. Take
Thank you.
care.
Okay,
Bye.
bye-bye.
Yes.
Thank you all.